I was in the army for around about 8-9 years, but while I was in the army in about 2015, I fell into a weapons pit at night and I pushed like my femur through my medial meniscus and completely just like destroyed my knees. I used to play rugby as an army sport, and because I'd already sort of started doing drone racing around about 2017 was when I started. Around about the same time, the Australian Army was doing a Army drone racing team as well. So I joined the Army drone racing team, and we then started competing from there. You know, you rock up to work, you've got PT in the morning, and then you've got your mates and all that kind of stuff. That stops all of a sudden once you get out. Having something that you could still go to and still have sort of a routine and go and compete, whether it was drone racing or just having a social aspect or civilian friends, because that was one of the biggest things that I sort of found was once I left the army, you don't really talk to your defence mates anymore. They're still there, and you can call them anytime, but you don't see them every day. But if you don't have civilian friends to talk to or to make or anything like that, I could definitely see how that would be a lot harder. So I found my transition fairly easy, and it was not too hard, to be honest. So the 2021 Australian X Class, Meridian Australian X Class opens. We'll be racing some crazy big drones. So X Class stands for experimental class. Okay, so experimental class is we're just using componentry, so electronics that are used for like agricultural drones, heavy lift, things that can lift like 20 kilos. We go to Bunnings and we'll get like aluminium tubing or carbon fibre, and we're making these things ourselves in the garages and that kind of thing. Experimenting to see how we can make these things faster and stronger, and just to rip around the track to get to that, break that top speed of 200 kilometres per hour. It's such a technologically advanced hobby that you've got to learn so much to do, and that's what we're sort of teaching the kids here today, is that in combination with 3D printing and some coding, aerodynamics and that kind of stuff, it all sort of merges into drone racing. So it is like an apex of STEM, and that's what we're trying to show today to the kids. I think it's more just sort of the satisfaction of we'll get a new member come into drone racing, or you show them the drone and they're a little bit hesitant, but 2 months later they're up in the air and they're absolutely ripping around, and you're sort of on that journey with them, learning the skills, and you're learning it all over again. And that's something that I've always sort of enjoyed. Drone racing's been here since like 2015. It's had its ups and downs, but I think clubs like Townsville keep on growing and growing, then yeah, we'll be fine.